Hello and welcome to Gunnar Weiskamp's Web Development. Today we'll be looking at lesson 7 on Angular using nesting Angular controllers, creating a drop-down and array manipulation. So yeah, first we're going to demonstrate how you can nest Angular controllers. I should have put that in there. A good technique if you need it sometimes. Then we will look at showcasing the ng repeat with the HTML select, and with that show the ability to remove a selected item off an array using Angular for each. So a bit of array manipulation as well. So if you want to create today's application, I'm using Visual Studio 2015. Community edition. It's free, so all you need to do is do File, New, and then Project, and then under the next window just use the Web selection. Click the top one here as shown, ASP.NET Web Application, your framework 4.5.2, but that's not really that important. In the next screen you'll just want an empty app, and none of these are ticked. None of these are ticked. We just want an empty app completely. So let's get into business down here. So once you've created all that, you will need to install Angular, as I have installed here, as you can already see. So my Angular is installed. Also, you create your own Angular script. I've called mine here My App.js, where we're going to put our own Angular code in. So that's, and then you'll also need to obviously add a HTML page, which we're going to put some stuff in. So let's make everything a bit smaller, so I hope that's all visible. But let's now make it smaller so we've got more screen size. Here is my Angular app that we're going to manipulate, and to the other side, to the left here, is my HTML page, referencing all my Angular important objects up here. And I've named my app here with ng app, the same as this guy here with my module. Right, so let's grab some code which I have created before. So first our HTML, and then if it lets me, come on, it's gonna play with me today. Okay, here we go. Yep, it took a bit of a while. We want to grab our Angular code here now. Right. I guess quickly to explain both parts, let's look at the Angular first. Here we've always got the Angular keyword controller, and we're passing it its name in this parameter here. We're calling this controller country controller. And we're going to show this object here, name, on the actual screen, which is associated with the country controller, so country controller Australia. One thing you might notice here, we're not passing the scope object. You can actually use the this keyword for the same logic. I just wanted to bring that up. That's something new as well. The other two controllers are more or less the same, but we're just using one called state controller, and we're going to showcase where I'm from, Queensland, sunny old Queensland, and the last one is the city controller, and you betcha we're going to pass the capital of Queensland in there, which is Brisbane. So that's our Angular code, so pretty straightforward in a sense. Here's our HTML, and in here you can see the top level controller is as is going to be the country controller. We can actually give controllers an alias. That means a different name than what they were originally created, and use that alias to reference the object inside it. So in this case, we're referencing this guy here. So our next controller here is nested inside this controller, and that's the state. And ooh, I think I don't. I thought I saw an error, but I don't. So that's our state controller nested within the country controller, and here we're just adding the country controller with the state controller together. Sorry, if you haven't come across these before, these are what's called expressions, and whatever is between these two will be rendered to the screen. So expressions is an Angular concept. Our last inner controller is our city controller, and in this one we're just wiring it all together, adding the country to the state and the city to bring up our complete message. Let's all save that and bring up the page for it. Oh, lots of flashing lights. Here we go. And no, that's not what you meant to see, I know. Oh, Google Chrome not responding. Yay. So there we have it. There's our messages coming out. Let me shrink that. It's always great if we can see what's going on completely. So in our first, when Angular loads up, it's loading up all these controllers here. And this, the first level controller here, we can see this country name being passed through. And that's the Australia. The second inner controller, is our controller name, our country name, and our state name put together, and that's Australia, Queensland. Our inner controller, as mentioned, is country, state, and city. So they're all being mapped together here. So controllers can be nested. It's a good technique if you've got specific items that you need. Yeah, so just something to be aware of. The next piece of code that we're going to do is hopefully going to be of some use for people. Okay, come on, please. Right, okay, so let's grab our Angular code first and put it in our country controller. Oops, oh, we've got an error. No, that's fine. Why did it do that? I see. No. Oh, god damn it. We need to finish it off. That's good. Right. Yes. The funny thing with Angular, if you're off by a comma or if you're off by a bracket, you're off by a mile. I can just get the code. Come on. Let's save that. Good-o, finally. Oh, sorry, I forgot to grab all of our Angular code. Yes, we need more. Need even more Angular code. That's probably why I was missing that comma there. And let's grab our HTML code. If we got it all, let's do yes. That to me. We will clean this up because we're no longer going to be using these items. It's all a bit messy, isn't it? We can keep the controller name the same. Yeah, just to keep things simple and faster. So let's have a look at our Angular code first. Well, we've kept the controller names the same just for this demo. Oops. Yes. We've got... Oh, I see. Alright, okay. Fair enough. Forgive me. What am I going to do here? We've got some code within code, which is a bit messy. And, oh dear, no. How do I, what's this guy here? So if I get rid of you, and I get rid of you, it should be good. As long as I move you around. Let's make this a little bit more readable. And right, okay. Okay, that should work. I hope. Let's move this up a bit. Make it. Whoops. Let's make it nice and tidy. Okay, sorry about that. So first of all, here we have an array. Here in Angular, we're going to call it movies. It's going to be pumped full of JSON formatted information. We're going to pass it film names, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and X-Men, and that's our array, which is going to be initialized in our HTML page, which I'll talk about in a second. Then we have another array here, but this is just a simpler array. This is going to hold a list of films that we're going to remove. This is going to be our remove function called remove item. It's past the item that should be removed, and this item is passed into our function here. The Angular for each is used here to iterate through this array here. It'll go for each of these items, and then in here we're going to look for, we're going to see, compare it to the item that is passed in and to a value within the array. If we have a match, we can remove it. And we're removing it from this array here, which is the idea of this code. You might, this is done by the splice keyword, and we're going to pass its positioning here using the key from here, and only making sure we're removing one value. In JavaScript, removing and array manipulation can be a bit of a finicky thing. You have to pass in a few more parameters. That's if you're coming from like a C# background or something like that. But so I hope I explained that okay. But over here in our HTML, I'll just make that a bit tidier. Yeah, we've just got a simple select list here. We're passing the ng model here as well using that item. We've got our ng change, so once an item is selected, this ng change will fire, and then this is our top level item that'll show, please select, and then here we've got our ng repeat. Now I'm going to explain those particular items. The ng model, which I've sort of touched upon before, it gets, well, not selected car, but selected, let's call it movie. We'll move that over there. So it gets the ng model. If you select an item from here, from the movies, it will put that item in that selected movie ng model. This then and then once you've made auto change, this item gets moved into this object here, and the ng change will call this remove item Angular function, which is over here, if that makes sense. The ng repeat, as we've talked about before, it gives the ability to iterate over certain arrays and show them in your end HTML page. It does this by first grabs the objects, takes each object out and puts it here in this X item, and then you pass that into the value of the select statement. So we've got X here, film name, and then we're showing the raw text here, x.fill name, and this is all done by the use of Angular expressions. So sort of again, so once the ng change, once you've selected an item, the ng model comes to play, picks up this item, puts it into this parameter here. This parameter then is passed, as we talked about, into this function here, and an object is taken out. So in other words, if we select this item, we are expecting that this item disappears from this array. Seeing is believing, they say, so let's save everything, and let's bring, oh no, what happened there? Something happened. Let's bring this guy up, and it would be great if we had the code as well, but now I haven't got, come on. So yeah, let's have all these sort of windows up so we can see what's going on. Let's refresh this. And here we're missing something. Yes, we are. I know what it is. Take a second to fix this. Or I can do it on the fly. Let's do it on the fly. Wrong expression. And it is oops. Okay, that should be correct. And there we go, yeah. So we had to put in here, obviously, our movie array to show all the movies which reside in this array here. Because when we select one in a second, like Star Wars, we're expecting this to disappear. If we select Indiana Jones, we select Indiana Jones to disappear. And if we select X-Men from this drop-down, we'll be expecting X-Men to disappear. So here's our drop down. You can see the please select is chosen, and there's our items there. So seeing is believing. Let's click on Star Wars, and there we go. Star Wars has disappeared. That's what we're saying. Goes into here, does all the removing, and then the expression will just show what's left in the array. Now if we select Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, it's removed. And now if we go to, come on, X-Men, did I select X-Men? Ah yeah, just wonderful speed of my computer. X-Men's removed, so there's all the items removed, and that's roughly how this sort of splice keyword is used. Splice is used to remove items from arrays, much like in other JavaScript languages. That's it. That's it for today. Yes, that's it today. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial and learnt something from it. And that's it. Have a good night and see you next time.